My name is Eleftheria. I come from Greece. I live in the Netherlands the past 10 years. In Greece, I did my bachelor's in languages and translation studies. I always wanted to live abroad, and I thought I wanted to work as a diplomat. And I did my study. I didn't like it at all. And I realized this is not my thing. I'm a people person. I get a lot of energy from people, and I like to give energy to people. So I started working in different cultural events as an organizer and a communicator. And at some point I decided to go study it. So in 2010, I moved to Rotterdam to do a one-year master in cultural economics and entrepreneurship. It was more focused on economics, so I didn't love that so much. I liked more the management, the entrepreneurship stuff, which were a bit underdeveloped in this program. And after I finished my studies, I could not really find my place in the art sector in the Netherlands, both because of language reasons, but also because it was the year of the big budget cuts. So I was looking around, what shall I do? I was looking for something more commercial, and I bumped into a website of a company I had never heard before, called Rockstart. It was based in Amsterdam, and they were talking about entrepreneurs and how they're changing the world and how they can help them do that. And I thought, oh my God, I don't know why I want this, but this is it. This is for me. They hired me as an intern, and I joined, and the match was fantastic. And after 3 months, they hired me as a full-time person. And this is how I got into the world of startups and entrepreneurship in the first place. I stayed in the company for 2 years, and then I started freelancing, more like in marketing, communications, public relations, event management. But I don't know, something was missing. Something was not right. I was not completely fulfilled by what I was doing. Informally, while I was taking these gigs, these assignments, I would bump into clients, startups mostly, that they were asking me to help them grow. And then I would realize along the way that they hadn't figured out who was their customer, what were their pains, what was the need they were trying to satisfy. And with my background in lean startup and customer development, some methodologies, and like design thinking as well, some methodologies we used at Rockstart, I started just asking questions and helping them figure things out. And then I realized that there's actually a lot of need for this kind of work and this kind of service. And eventually I was introduced to ING a couple of years later. And for the first time, I moved into corporate innovation. My first corporate job ever was 2.5 years ago. And this is how I got into the world of corporate entrepreneurship. After a while, I moved to Rabobank, where I got a coaching role. Here, they needed more coaches, mentors, startup mentors. They would guide the startups here in the bank on how to do this right. And they would help create highly performing teams. I'm an innovation coach at Rabobank. Rabobank has an innovation hub where they form teams, little internal corporate startups, that they develop and test new business ideas in the market. And as an innovation coach, I help the teams focus on building and testing the right things in the right way. So they make sure they eventually build a product that customers want and that it's viable. I saw two problems. The one was, to me, was organizational design, and then it was a problem of leadership. So I felt that we cannot create innovation with the leadership approach. We do business as usual. We cannot create new business with an old mindset. So we need a new type of leadership. And leaders are not just executives anymore. Leaders are the innovators, are the entrepreneurs. It's the people who do the work. It was actually a very similar experience than when I bumped into Rockstart, the accelerator I bumped into many years ago. A lot of part of the language I did not really grasp, but there was something that spoke to me. I felt that I landed at the right place. It was again a feeling approach. I felt, hey, it looks like this is something for me. The message resonated. I scrolled through. And then I think 2 weeks later, you were doing the host demo, and you would talk about more about the programs you're doing. And I thought, let's do it. Let's join. Let's see what this is all about. Okay, so I walked in, and there was a number of people there drinking tea in a really nice, very laid-back space, and I started just chatting with other people, waiting for the program to start, and very quickly realized that I was among a very interesting group of people. They're all looking for something. They're all looking for a solution. They all were very proactively looking to help their organizations grow and change. I felt like I was amongst peers. I was amongst people that understood where I was coming from, and I understood where they came from. So it was a kind of a feeling of belonging. So that put me at ease in the first place. It was very, very interactive, and it was a lot about connecting with each other and with ourselves. I think it's very much about trusting each other, feeling safe with each other, dropping our facade and our guard to connect with each other, to work on something together. First of all, attending the host demo, it will give people the experience of what it is to be part of a group that works, that flows together and creates things together. That feeling was for me probably the biggest driver for eventually joining host. And of course, you'll get a lot of practical tips and exercises that you can use in your work that have to do with aligning groups and feeling connected and changing mindsets. Being comfortable with change. And I think you're more comfortable with change when you know yourself. And you accept yourself as you are. And if change is uncomfortable, then it's okay. It's uncomfortable. Let's go figure it out. Have an open mindset, curiosity. Let's figure out how this will work. We'll probably fail, we'll fall down, and we'll get up again. We've done this already 1,000 times. Growth Cycle is a weekly video call with other host members from around the world, which is very exciting to have people from the States and from Singapore joining a call. And the purpose is to peer coaching, basically, help each other. Oh yeah, you asked everyone to ask each other 1 or 2 questions. That could be very straightforward, where are you from, what do you do, or a little bit more alternative questions. And most of the people, of course, asked for alternative questions. And then you introduce the power questions, such as what made you smile this week? Yeah, so basically within the first 15 minutes, I felt deeply connected to 3 women, 2 of which I've met for the first time. And of course, you need people that are open to this as well. And of course, they were. So it was a fantastic feeling of community and connectedness. And then later on, we got practical. It's either the host Pat or Jessica that asks a question to the group. Do you have a question for your peers, or is there a challenge is there something that's challenged you in your work right now that you would like to get some feedback on from your peers? I had asked already a question, and it had to do a lot with how can I unlock the leadership potential of a certain innovator here in the bank. And then the power of the group worked, All 3 ladies, they give really, really interesting tips about and ideas for tools on how I can solve this problem, how I can immediately put it into practice. I feel that the cycles can help me grow every week because also there's a different composition of people every time, so different backgrounds, different expertises. It can help me do that by helping me check in with myself regularly every week, keeping me accountable, because at the end of the call we all make some commitments or intentions for the week that follows, by very simply giving me practical advice and ideas on how I can change things or how I can push things forward harder, perhaps. I want to stick around in host, and I want to see it grow, and I want to see more people from all around the world join, because the more we are, the stronger we get.